If I go to any place, I just know what this place is about, what it is. So this comes not by study.
I may not be exact on this. I would say it is something like 20 times the Rameshwaram temple that we have, which is one of the largest temples we have. They are stones which weigh over 400 to 500 tons, running to 27 meters tall. What kind of devotion must have driven these people to do this kind of work?
You see the symbol, the yogic symbols of anahata and the blossoming of the flower, it is across the planet in many representations. Most of the temples we have killed because we do not know how to maintain them anymore. The necessary dedication, the necessary science of what it is has been lost, and it's been lots, hundreds and hundreds of temples have died, only the stone is there. You can invite certain possibilities. We are initiating people into Guru Puja in a certain way. This is a very simple way, but many times these Guru Pujas take on a completely different possibility. Something else becomes alive. There are beautiful representations of more sophisticated manifestation of yogic culture, particularly in Middle East or West Asia as we call it here. Particularly this particular stone that you're seeing is the Guru Puja stone. When I went to Baalbek, which is part of the Phoenician temple, which was built now in Lebanon. When I happened to visit this place about 10 years ago, the moment I saw this stone, which is the Guru Puja stone, with 16 offerings, with room for 16 offerings. Even today when we do Guru Puja, it is called as Shodashopachara. That means 16 ways of inviting a guru, 16 ways of making it happen. I never went to any place and learned anything. I never went through any kind of spiritual training in my life. But there is no aspect of spirituality that I'm unaware of today. It's not that I'm carrying it all with me. If I walk on the street, I walk like a child without anything on my head. I'm not burdened with my knowledge. But whatever I need is always there with me. If any kind of situation comes, till now in my life, I have never ever felt a situation where I don't know what to do. I'm talking about the spiritual aspects, not the physical life situations. The spiritual dimensions, never have I faced a situation where I don't know what to do. It doesn't matter what it is. People who have been closely around with me and who have traveled with me to various places and significance, they just can't believe how this can be. If I go to some place, I simply know the whole history of that place, not the physical history of it, the spiritual history of it, which matches with the physical history somewhere. If I go to any place, I just know what this place is about, what it is. So this comes not by study, this comes just becoming receptive to a different possibility. When I say a different possibility, most of the beings who were truly spiritual, they never came out and said anything. They are the smart ones. Because the moment you open your mouth and try to say something about a dimension which is not in your experience, you attract so many problems to yourself, endless amount of problems. You can get crucified because you spoke. Or you can come near crucifixion and you have to manage it tactfully here and there, playing all kinds of tricks, otherwise they will crucify you, one way or the other. Today crucifixion doesn't happen upon the cross, They'll call the tax man or the policeman or this man or that man and try to fix you somehow. So most of them never spoke. This does not mean they did not contribute. Everything that they knew, I usually say they laid their eggs all over the place. They laid their eggs in many ways. All the mystics on this planet, most of them never spoke or taught anything to anybody. But everything that they knew, they invested in a certain way in the world. It's always available. If you ask me, for me, Gautama, the Buddha, is not 2,500 years ago. For me, he is right now. He's as alive today as he was then, because he's always accessible. And like this, there are thousands upon thousands of masters.
The Karnak temple, which is one of the well-preserved lot, which is over 4,600 years old, is something like… I may not be exact on this, I would say it is something like 20 times the Rameswaram temple that we have, which is one of the largest temples we have. That's how large it is. And in terms of its height, it is running into, really fabulous heights. Above all, what kind of devotion must have driven these people 4 millenniums ago to handle rocks like this? Some of these pylons which they have made, which have made them stand up, which have been transported hundreds of kilometers down the river Nile and erected, they are stones which weigh over 400 to 500 tons, running to 27 meters tall. What kind of devotion must have driven these people to do this kind of work? No machines, no trucks, no cranes, just human beings. It takes phenomenal sense of devotion and sense of purpose for anybody to do this. And today French historians are writing that Egyptian culture was connected with the Vedic culture 7,000 years ago. And the builders went from here, from this land.
This is a classic representation of Guru Puja stone. You will find an exactly similar stone in Uttar Kashi, you will find these stones in Benares, you will find these stones in southern India, in various temples. The triangle, the manifestation of the stone in the way it is done is geometrically 100% correct. This cannot be done by anybody other than somebody who is steeped in yogic sciences. And this must be about 4,500 to 5,000 years old intact even today in Lebanon. Lebanese children in their schools study and they know from history that Indian sculptors, Indian labor, Indian elephants came to work on the Phoenician temples. If all these people went, if the labor went, the sculptors went and the elephants went, how would the yogis not be there? They would be the forerunners of this whole process. And you will see in Baalbek temple there's another image of lotuses in the ceiling. Obviously this is a clear Indian art sneaking into Phoenician temple, because the sculptors from India, the first thing that they learn is to make a lotus. It's the simplest manifestation of sculpting.
Fabulous, fabulous feat. They don't have any granite in the area, so they brought it from Egypt. They transported it across what is now Suez Canal, and they brought it up through Syria and climbed up the mountains, which is over 350 to 360 kilometers of climb on the mountain, and they put it up there, a huge temple. a Phoenician temple which was built almost 4,200 years ago. And here you will see lotuses hanging from the ceiling. A lotus in Lebanon? There is no such possibility because these are Indian sculptors. So there is history in Lebanon which clearly says Indian elephants, Indian labor and Indian sculptors came and worked here. And the most amazing thing for me was, I saw a 16-pointed stone. Even today when we do the Guru Puja, Guru Puja is essentially, in the yogic parlance, it is known as Shodashopachara. That means 16 ways of treating a guru. That's what Guru Puja is. So usually we have a Guru Puja stone which we still don't have in the ashram because of whatever. We're still putting up the stones, the standing ones. This 16-pointed Guru Puja stone, which is prepared traditionally in a certain way, is essentially from the yogic culture. It cannot come from anywhere else. You will see a proper Guru Puja stone with all the necessary symbols and everything in Lebanon, which is over 4,000 years old. So today, lot of French historians have published many aspects of history.
The people in that region would have definitely not seen a lotus because no such thing exists there, but you will see lotuses hanging from the ceiling. This is a lotus inside Anahata symbol in the ceiling of the Phoenician temple, the Sun Temple in Lebanon, which is called as Baalbek. This is a fantastic temple, it's a must-see for anybody. If you ever happen to be in that region, it is something that one must see. It is a phenomenal manifestation of human. Will as to how and the inspiration that is taken from a divine contact. Once somebody is touched by something of the beyond, your own earning of the bread or making your own name and fame doesn't arise. You want to create something that manifests itself and functions beyond yourself. So these ancient temples are a manifestation of that. You see the symbol, the yogic symbols of Anahata and the blossoming of the flower, it is across the planet in many representations in the form of sculpture.
See, one thing is when new buildings are constructed, not always, sometimes when new structures are constructed, sometimes certain negative airs can be trapped because of certain reasons. So the idea was to create a new positive energy by chanting, and the homam also had some impact, the Agnihotris and other things that they did, cleared up certain atmosphere, yes. Above all, you're moving into a new space, you are not somebody who is beyond everything, you are not somebody who is so aware, if you see here, you know exactly this is what it is. You are not in that state of awareness. So you need a psychological boost also to enter a new space because your basic emotion is fear, please see. Your most basic emotion is fear. So any small thing, your whole life can get disturbed. Suddenly you believe, you came into a new house either because of the paint smell or whatever, you are unable to sleep. And now you think, what is this? In my old house I was sleeping properly, this new house may be ghost. You're finished, you know. You're finished. Lot of people can never extricate themselves out of the single thought. They will just go on and on and on and on and finish themselves. So, a little bit like this it clears, and it also has some science behind it. Certain utterances of sounds and smells creates a certain atmosphere there. And you tie that ash god, because it's very highly pranic, it reverberates with prana, that slowly positive energy spreads. But you put it into your belly, it's even better, you know. This whole science is taken to a very peak in the form of temple building. See, you must understand this. The Indian temple was never built as a place of worship or prayer. If you go to the temple, nobody told you in the tradition to pray or to send requests to God about how to fix your life or something. They told you if you go to your temple, you must sit there for a while, isn't it? Because these places were energy centers, they were not places of prayer. No Indian temple ever there is somebody leading a prayer, isn't it? See, suppose if it's some other place of worship, somebody is leading a prayer. There is no such thing at any time in the Indian temple because this was made as an energy center, not as a place of prayer. Before you start your day, you have a shower, go there, sit there for some time and then go out into the world. This is like public battery charging place. And it is also said, if you are on a spiritual path, you don't have to visit the temple every day. Do you know this? Yes, are you aware of this? Those who are on the spiritual path need not go to the temple every day. Why? Because they have self-charging mechanisms. Right now you're doing your pranayama, meditation, these are self-charging mechanisms. You don't have to necessarily go to a public charging place. You don't have your own private charger, you go to the public booth and charge yourself. When the shape of the temple, you know, the outside parikrama, the sanctum sanctorium, the shape and size, the shape of the idol and the size, the mudras that the idol hold, the mantras that are used to consecrate this, if all these things are properly matched, it will have a very strong field of energy around it. You just go there, sit there, imbibe it and come. This is not the time for you to do blah 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 or, you know, somebody else is doing it. It's for you to just sit quietly and if there is something to imbibe it. Most of the temples we have killed because we do not know how to maintain them anymore. The necessary dedication, the necessary science of what it is has been lost and it's been lots, hundreds and hundreds of temples have died, only the stone is there. This was a science of converting the stone into the divine. But if you're unaware, you'll again convert the divine into a stone. There is a whole science as to how to make the stone into divine, to energize it in such a way that it is a much higher possibility than yourself, but you can just decimate it. Maybe. Guru Puja is a kind of a device. If you know how to carry it on, you can invite certain possibilities.
are initiating people into Guru Puja in a certain way. If people know how to do Guru Puja with a certain right kind of attitude, and there is a whole science of managing materials also there, creating a certain situation. You create a certain situation where certain type of energies and certain type of possibilities become close to you. So it is a way of inviting the Guru. The Guru does not mean somebody you know, somebody you do not know, no. Gu means darkness, Ru means dispelling. Anything that dispels your darkness is your Guru. So you're inviting that dimension which can dispel your darkness. That dimension is always alive everywhere in the existence. It is just your ability to become receptive to it. So Guru Puja is a device to make yourself receptive to a possibility where you invite a dimension which dispels your darkness. There is a whole science behind it. This is a simpler way of doing it. There are more elaborate and powerful ways of doing it. This is a very simple way, but many times these Guru Pujas take on a completely different possibility. Something else becomes alive and the situation changes so dramatically simply because of a simple device that they're putting into action. That's why I don't do it.
Once again, we must remember, only that which was carved on stone and that which endured the ravages of time you see, but so much of it, which is in practice, will never be seen unless like that skeletal representation where someone died in a yogic posture. If that happens only, maybe there will be proof of yoga in North America after 10,000 years.